it all down, man. Flushed it all down. How you guys doing? Looking good, looking good. Yeah, so some of you have heard about my story, but you're gonna hear it again right now. So I grew up, man, just dreaming about stuff like this, big stages, big concerts, and just rock and roll. I had Maiden posters and Motley Crue, all that good stuff, or whatever you want to call it, hanging up in my room, and I just worshiped music. That's all I wanted to get into. And I met the guys in Korn when I was about probably 14, and we started just jamming around Bakersfield, you know, starting getting into bands and stuff. Long story short, we separated when we were 18, and we hooked back up in our early 20s, and found Jonathan Davis, and we got a record deal. We just went for it, and it just started blowing up right away. We got on tours with like Ozzy Osbourne and Metallica and Rage Against the Machine and stuff like that, and it was fun, you know. At the beginning, it was exciting. All the band members were getting along, and life was good for a little while. I was drunk the whole time. It's kind of a blur, but it was, you know, it was a rock star dream coming true. And the drugs started creeping in a little bit though, and things started getting a little dark and stuff. The band started getting a little bit, just, you know, kind of dividing a little bit. People were competing over girls backstage and all that junk, and it was just like juvenile. But around that time, when the band started separating a little bit as friends, we all got married. You know, all the girls were coming out to the shows, and for some reason we got married, and we wanted it all. We wanted to party with the girls, and we wanted wives and families at home, so we all started families and stuff. And the woman I married, Rebecca, me and her weren't that good for each other. She was just wild, man. She was a scrapper. She grew up with a bunch of boys, and she used to just thump on me, and like we'd get in fights, she'd beat me up, and it was a bad relationship. But somehow we stuck together, and she had our baby girl in 1998, Janaea, and things were cool for a while there, but just the non-stop touring, man, I couldn't stop drinking, because it looked like a Coors Light commercial. Everywhere I went, it was all these frozen beers everywhere, and I was like, you know, my tongue is hanging out, dripping. It looked so good to me all the time, so I couldn't stop drinking. So I'd come home, I'd be all hungover, and then we started dibble-dabbling with methamphetamines and stuff, and when I would hit the road, Rebecca would still do it. She turned into kind of a tweaker, you know, on the stuff, and she was home with the baby, and just some dark times started coming, man, and she ended up hooking up with the skinhead guy, and she left our family, man. She left the kid with a babysitter one weekend when I was coming home off a Metallica tour, and I just couldn't believe it, man. My heart shattered. I was like, I lost my wife. I know that we were bad for each other, and I was treating her bad, but she left her daughter, and I was just sitting there, you know, an alcoholic, drug addict, as a single dad, and I was so broken. I was just broken inside. I was like, what do I do? So I took the kid on the road and just went for it, you know, and tried to juggle both of them. I got a nanny, and I hated my wife for what she did to the kid, and that skinhead guy, man. I wanted to kill him. I mean, a couple months. I mean, guys, just picture this. A couple months after she left me, I see her. She's with this skinhead guy, and she had some surgery, and she's looking like Pamela Anderson, if you know what I mean. And this guy's like, just totally like ripped my life off and took my wife and the mother of my child, and I'm like, I wanted to kill him. I knew people that used to be in gangs and stuff, and I was just so coked up, and I was going out of my mind, but I hated her. She was the biggest junkie, the loser and scum of the earth, and I was like, I'll never end up like that. A year later, I got hooked on meth. I turned into a junkie. I was in Korn, touring all over the world. I was packing my meth into deodorant. I was coming into countries where they said penalty by death if anybody gets caught with like even a little bit of marijuana, and I was like, you know, kill me, I don't care. What's this life about? My wife just bailed on us. I'm miserable. I can't stop drinking. My kid's gonna grow up, she's gonna be miserable. I got everything I want. I'm a rock star. I'm touring all over the world. I got millions of dollars. I got all the cars I want, everything I want, but it was just, well, life didn't make sense, man. And around that time, I was a closet speed user, and I was still doing, like, to the world, it looked like I was doing good, you know, with the music, and I was also doing some real estate stuff, and I had some real estate partners that were Christians, and they reached out to me, and because I was complaining all the time about my life too, because, you know, when you become friends with someone, you just start to get close, and I was like, there was all this drama always going on in my life, but they finally just asked me to go to church, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go to church, but I tried to rehab, an outpatient rehab. I got some meds to try to stop meth, but I couldn't stop, so I just went to this church, man, as a last resort. I wanted to hang around with the goody-goodies that didn't drink, cuss, or smoke. That's all I thought Christianity was. I had no idea there's a real God there that would talk back to you and like reveal himself to you. So I went there, and the pastor's like, you know, he put up Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all things will be given unto you. And he broke it down, and he said, you know, if you just hang out with the Lord and just treat him like he's real and just talk to him, all the bad stuff in your life will start to fall away. So that's what I did. I went home, I snorted meth, and I just talked to him. I just said, Lord, if you're real like that guy said you were, and if all these people aren't crazy, then reveal yourself to me and change my life and give my daughter a father that can raise her and take this crap from me. I can't do this no more. I'm going to be dead. I'm going to either, you know, just go crazy and leave my daughter like my ex-wife, or I'm going to end up dead, because I just needed to change. And, you know, long story short, within the next couple weeks, I started seeing these signs, and I was confused. I was like, I think God's real. I mean, what do I do? I got to get cleaned up. I got to do this. I think he's really real. And at that time, I had a meeting with Korn, because we were getting ready to sign our next record deal. We were on Sony Music for 10 years. We just got off. It was a huge, like 20 million plus signing bonus. And I was like, oh man, what do I do? I told Jonathan Davis, I was like, look, man, I can't tour anymore. I just can't do this. I got to be home with my kid. I didn't drop the Jesus thing on him yet. And he's like, you know, that was my way of quitting. But he's like, don't worry about it. Stay in the band, write the record with us, you know, and we'll just hire a guitar player in your spot. And I was like, yeah. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I could get like a $3.5 million check. I can hire a guitar player. I could stay home. I could learn about this Jesus stuff quietly. No. And something inside of me was like saying, I don't know though. So I went and asked the Christian guy that helped get me saved and into the church. And I was like, what should I do? And he goes, stay in the band. Maybe you could change him. So the Christian guy's telling me to stay in the band, and I'm like confused even more. I thought he was going to tell me to run for the hills. But